something feels off in the Heartland trailer. A quiet field, a cold wind, and Amy's eyes filled with tears. Then, in just a single second, the screen cuts to Nathan's hat lying in the dirt. No music, no words. Fans froze. Could this really mean Nathan is gone? Season 19 has been full of surprises, but this moment hit different. Every clue in the trailer points toward something tragic, a loss, a goodbye, maybe even death. But is the show really about to break our hearts again? Let's look closer at what the trailer is trying to tell us, and what it's hiding. The trailer for episode 4 doesn't come out of nowhere. It builds on everything that's been bubbling under the surface since season 19 began. We've seen Amy trying to balance her work with the horses and her role as a mother. She's strong, but this season, you can feel the weight of grief and memory pressing harder than ever. The loss of Ty still lingers in small ways in the way she looks at the ranch, the pauses in her voice, and the moments she spends alone by the paddock. Then there's Nathan. His story has been quietly growing, pulling him closer to the Heartland family, but also stirring up new conflicts. Nathan isn't a villain. He's complicated, misunderstood. In the last episode, his decisions sparked tension with Jack, and fans could sense that something big was coming. The way Jack looked at him like he saw an echo of someone from his past gave that classic Heartland feeling of history repeating itself. The tone of the new trailer fits right into that pattern. It opens with a wide shot of the ranch at sunset, peaceful but heavy. There's no dialogue at first, only the sound of wind and horses in the distance. Then Amy's voice cuts in, trembling slightly, saying something like, "He didn't deserve this." That's it. One line. But it's enough to send fans spiraling into theories. If you've watched Heartland long enough, you know that the show rarely gives away big twists in the trailer. But this time, the editing feels different. The quick flashes, a truck on a dark road, a broken fence. Lou hugging Katie with tears in her eyes all hint at a loss that hits close to home. And then, there's that one moment everyone's talking about, Nathan's hat. The shot only lasts for a second. It's lying in the dirt, next to what looks like a patch of blood, or maybe mud. The camera lingers just long enough for us to recognize it before cutting to Amy's face, pale and stunned. No words, just silence. That's what makes it powerful and painful. Heartland has always been about healing, about how people and animals help each other move through pain. But episode 4 seems ready to test that message in a new way. The question isn't just whether Nathan lives or dies, it's what his fate means for everyone left behind. Because in this family, one person's fall ripples through everyone's heart. Fans are already dissecting every frame, trying to figure out if Nathan's story is ending or transforming. Could he be hurt? Missing? Or maybe this is another clever misdirection, something the Heartland editors love to do. Still, the tone is darker, sadder, and more emotional than usual. It feels like we're standing on the edge of another major shift in the Heartland universe. This is the calm before the storm, the kind of episode that changes how the season feels from here on out. The trailer begins quietly, too quietly. There's no cheerful guitar music, no sound of laughter from the barn, only the steady hum of wind sweeping through the Heartland ranch. The camera drifts across the open fields, and for the first time in a long while, the ranch feels cold. The golden sunlight that usually paints every Heartland morning has been replaced with gray clouds. It's the kind of silence that comes before something changes forever. Then we see Amy, standing by the fence, her hands gripping the wood so tightly her knuckles turn white. Her eyes aren't looking at the horses. They're staring into the distance. It's like she's waiting for someone who isn't coming back. The camera zooms in just enough to catch the glint of tears, and the screen cuts to black. One heartbeat later, Nathan's voice breaks the silence. "I didn't mean for it to end like this." His tone is low, tired, almost defeated. Fans freeze that moment because Nathan's voice doesn't sound like someone preparing for another challenge. It sounds like someone saying goodbye. The next shot shows a pickup truck speeding down a gravel road. The sky is dark, rain is starting to fall, and the headlights blur through the storm. Then, a sharp cut, the sound of brakes, screeching, a flash of light, and silence again. No crash shown, no body, just silence. That's all Heartland needs to send panic through the fandom. After that, the trailer moves fast, flashes of scenes that feel like fragments of a nightmare. Lou hugging Amy in the kitchen, both of them crying. Jack sitting alone in the barn, staring at the floor with that haunted look we haven't seen since Ty's passing. And then, that single, brutal image, Nathan's hat lying in the mud, spinning slowly as the rain hits it. The music swells, low piano notes, mixed with the faint sound of a heartbeat. Every shot feels heavier than the last. There's a hospital hallway, a closed door, and Amy walking toward it. The trailer cuts away just before she opens it, leaving us in the dark again. Heartland's trailers rarely use symbolism this strong. The hat, the rain, the broken fence, they all point toward something final. But at the same time, there's one strange detail that fans have been obsessing over. In one blink and you'll miss it frame, someone, possibly Nathan, is shown sitting near a campfire. It's dark, and he looks bruised, but alive. Could it be a flashback? Or is he still out there, somewhere between life and death? The editing doesn't help. The shots are cut in a way that mixes past and present, dream and reality. Heartland has used this technique before, especially when Amy dealt with Ty's memories. So it's possible that what we're seeing isn't real time at all. Maybe Amy's grief is painting a picture of what she fears the most. Still, the trailer feels heavy with goodbye energy. Every character looks drained, every moment soaked in sorrow. Even the color palette is desaturated, more gray, less gold. As if the light itself has gone out of the Heartland world, and then the last moment, the one that made every fan pause the video. Amy's voice whispers, "He's gone." The words echo into silence. But the screen doesn't fade to black. Instead, it lingers on the image of the ranch. Standing alone under the rain, the trailer ends, leaving us in the same place it started, confused, emotional, and desperate for answers. When a Heartland trailer drops, fans don't just watch, they investigate. Within hours, social media was flooded with screenshots, slow-motion clips, and endless debates about what Nathan's fate could really mean. And honestly, it's not hard to see why. The clues in this trailer aren't just scenes, they're puzzles. Some fans are convinced Nathan's death is real. Their theory? That car speeding through the storm wasn't random. It's the same truck Nathan drove in episode 3, when he left the ranch after arguing with Jack. The way the trailer cuts from that truck too, and me crying, feels too deliberate to ignore. It's like the editors are saying everything without showing it. The mood, the sound, even the rain, all point toward a tragedy. But others refuse to believe it. They say Heartland wouldn't repeat the heartbreak of losing another major character so soon after Ty. These fans believe the trailer is designed to trick us. They think the car accident is real, but Nathan survives, maybe in critical condition, or maybe he disappears, setting up a mystery arc for the rest of the season. One theory even suggests that Nathan could be dealing with something deeper, guilt, trauma, or a secret from his past that's catching up to him. Then there's the most surprising theory, the dream sequence. A few sharp-eyed fans notice something odd. The lighting in Amy's crying scene doesn't match the outdoor shots. It's softer, almost unreal, like a memory or a vision. Could Amy be imagining this? Could Nathan's death be part of a nightmare, showing her fear of losing someone again after Ty? If that's true, episode 4 might be less about death and more about emotional healing, about Amy facing her old wounds. But the mystery goes even further. Some fans have noticed that Nathan's actor hasn't been promoting the new episodes as much as before. His absence from interviews and behind-the-scenes photos has sparked more rumors. Is that because his character is leaving the show? Or is the production team keeping things secret on purpose to build suspense? Still, there's one more hidden detail that almost everyone missed. At the end of the trailer, in that final shot of the ranch under the rain, there's a figure in the far background. It's blurry, almost invisible, but zoomed-in fans claim it looks like someone walking away. Could that be Nathan? Could he be alive, choosing to leave Heartland behind for reasons we don't yet know? Heartland has always been more than just a show about horses and ranch life. It's a story about people trying to hold on to hope even when the world feels heavy. And this trailer plays with that emotion perfectly. Every frame feels like a message about loss, love, and the fear of repeating the past. Whether Nathan dies, disappears, or lives in someone's memory, the show has already succeeded in one thing: it's making us feel. The beauty of Heartland lies in its silence. It never tells you exactly what's happening, but it makes you feel what's coming. And right now, every fan can sense it. Something's about to change forever. If the trailer was a storm, then the emotions that follow are the thunder that keeps echoing long after it ends. Heartland has always been about family, the kind that breaks, heals, and rebuilds. So when something threatens that balance, every character feels the shock in a different way. Episode 4 looks ready to tear open old wounds in force. Everyone to face what they've been hiding. The trailer's mood already tells us this isn't just Nathan's story, it's Amy's, Jack's, and Lou's too. If Nathan really dies, Amy will feel it the hardest. Over the last few episodes, she's begun to trust again, to let someone new into her world after so much loss. Losing Nathan would shatter that progress. Imagine her standing in the barn, brushing Spartan, trying to hold herself together as her voice cracks. She wouldn't just be mourning Nathan. She'd be mourning hope itself, the small, fragile belief that life can be kind again. Jack's reaction would be quiet but devastating. He's seen too much loss to cry in front of anyone. He'd hide it behind his work, fixing fences, caring for the horses, pretending he's fine. But that one seeing him sitting alone in the barn, hat in his hands, eyes distant, would say everything. Jack doesn't just lose people. He carries their memories, one by one, until the weight nearly breaks him. And if Nathan was like a son to him, that loss would bring back every ghost he's ever buried. Lou, on the other hand, would break in a different way. She's always been the one who tries to stay strong for everyone else, the one who keeps the family standing. But sometimes even the strongest hearts need to fall apart. In the trailer, her hug with Amy feels desperate, like she's holding on to her, not just for comfort, but for survival. She knows what Amy's been through. She knows how fragile healing can be. And if she sees her sister slipping back into that darkness, she'll fight to pull her out. Even the smaller characters, Katie, Lindy, and Tim, would be caught in the storm. Katie might start asking questions no one knows how to answer. Lindy could sense the sadness in the air, even if she doesn't understand it. And Tim, who hides behind anger, might lash out at everyone because pain is easier to handle when it's disguised as rage. But there's another layer to this. What if Nathan isn't dead, just missing or hurt? The uncertainty could be worse than death itself. Amy would live in constant hope, checking every phone call, waiting by the gate, dreaming he might walk back in. That kind of pain, the not knowing, would tear through her quiet strength. Heartland has explored grief before, but uncertainty brings a new kind of ache. One that forces the characters to live between love and loss. The emotional tone of episode 4 feels like a mirror to season 14 when Ty's story ended. But this time, there's something more haunting, a sense that the past is repeating itself, and no one knows how to stop it. The ranch has always been a place of healing, but healing means facing pain head-on. And that's what this episode seems to be setting up. A reckoning not just with Nathan's fate, but with what each character truly fears, being left behind again by the end of the trailer. The audience doesn't just wonder what happens next, they feel it. Every tear, every silence, every shaky breath from Amy tells us that Heartland isn't afraid to break our hearts all over again. But maybe, just maybe, it's also preparing to remind us why we keep coming back, because even after loss, there's always something left to hold on to. Every story in Heartland has a heartbeat, a lesson quietly pulsing beneath the surface. And Nathan's fate in episode 4 might be more than just another tragedy. It could be the soul of this season, a reflection of loss, healing, and the hard truth that sometimes love means letting go. For years, Heartland has taught its viewers that pain doesn't end a story, it deepens it. When Ty died, the show didn't just focus on death, it focused on life after death, on how people learn to breathe again when their world stops. Nathan's possible death feels like the next chapter of that same message. It's not about saying goodbye to a character, it's about how grief reshapes those left behind. If you look closely, Every scene in the trailer seems to echo a theme we've seen before, the cycle of loss and renewal. Amy standing in the rain mirrors how she once stood in the snow after Ty's passing. The broken fence isn't just damage, it's a symbol of how fragile life's boundaries can be. Even Nathan's hat lying in the mud feels like a quiet metaphor, how something once strong, proud, and full of purpose can fall, yet still remain part of the land it came from. But there's another layer here: redemption. Nathan has always been a complicated figure. He's made mistakes, taken risks, and carried guilt that never quite left him. If this episode truly marks his end, it might also mark his peace. Maybe the story isn't about his death at all, but about his forgiveness from others and from himself. Sometimes Heartland doesn't show salvation through victory, but through acceptance. And maybe that's what Nathan's story has been leading to all along. Still, Heartland loves its parallels. What if Nathan's fate is meant to reflect Amy's own journey, her fear of losing again, her hesitation to open her heart? The trailer might not be warning us of a death, but reminding us of what fear does to love. Amy could be forced to face her deepest wound once more, that no matter how much she heals, life can still take what she cherishes most. And yet, through that pain, she grows stronger. The music in the trailer even supports this theme. It's soft, but heavy, like a heartbeat slowed by grief. It doesn't scream sadness, it whispers it. That's the essence of Heartland. Quiet storytelling that still cuts deep. Every pause, every silence, every look between characters speaks louder than words. And maybe, just maybe, Nathan's death isn't a literal one. It could be a symbolic rebirth, an ending that opens another door. Perhaps he leaves to find peace elsewhere, or he disappears to remind Amy and the viewers that life keeps moving, even when it hurts, because Heartland has never been about who stays or who leaves. It's about the love that remains, the lessons we keep, and the healing that happens in the space between heartbreaks. Nathan's story, whether it ends in tragedy or transformation, is a reminder that pain and purpose often share the same path. Episode 4 feels like it's preparing us for a truth that Heartland has been whispering since the beginning. That loss isn't the end of the story, it's the proof that love existed. And sometimes that love is enough to carry us forward. The trailer ends, but the silence it leaves behind speaks louder than any line of dialogue. You can almost feel the ache stretching across the screen, the kind that lingers long after the music fades. Whether Nathan truly dies or not, Heartland has already done what it does best. It's made us feel. It's reminded us why this show isn't just about a ranch or horses, it's about people finding the courage to keep living when life keeps testing them. Every fan watching this trailer shares the same feeling, that quiet fear of losing another piece of the Heartland family, and maybe that's why episode 4 has shaken the fandom so deeply. Because Nathan's possible death isn't just his story. It mirrors our own experience of holding on to someone who might be slipping away. But if there's one thing Heartland has always shown us, it's that endings aren't the same as loss. Sometimes the most painful moments lead to the most powerful growth. Maybe Amy's tears aren't just grief. Maybe they're strength. Maybe the storm isn't tragedy. Maybe it's transformation. The trailer hints at pain, but it also hints at healing. And Heartland has never let a storm end without showing us a sunrise after it. So what does this mean for Nathan? Maybe he's gone. Maybe not. Maybe this is a farewell, or maybe it's a rebirth. One thing's certain: this moment will change everyone, and it will change how we see them. Fans are already writing theories, creating edits, and reliving every frame of that haunting scene. But deep down, we all want the same thing: for Heartland to give us hope again, the same way it always does. So now the question becomes yours. What do you think really happened to Nathan? Was that scene a real goodbye, or just another one of Heartland's emotional misdirections? Could he still be out there, healing somewhere off screen? Or did the show just prepare us for another heartbreaking twist? Share your thoughts below, because no one understands Heartland heartbreak like this fandom does. And if you've made it this far into the video, you're part of that family too. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, so you don't miss our full episode for breakdown right after it airs. We'll dive into every clue, every emotion, and maybe even find the truth behind Nathan's final scene. Because on this ranch, every goodbye carries a whisper of a new beginning, and we'll be here to follow every step of it. The storm is here, Landers. But the story isn't over yet. Soft piano music begins, low, emotional. Fading in like the last breath of a storm, the screen fades to a shot of the ranch under gray skies. The wind moves through the fields, and for a moment, everything is still. Amy's voice from earlier, "He's gone," echoes faintly in the background, almost like a memory. Then the piano slows, leaving only the sound of distant thunder. Your voiceover returns, calm, steady, filled with that quiet sadness only Heartland can bring.